Hello, winners. How you guys doing today? Welcome to the Boss Rise Up with yours truly, Coach Tamira Bell. I am so excited about the guests that we have on today. I hope you guys are winning. We are in 2022. I hope you are doing what it takes to be a winner in business. I don't care if you're self-employed, a business owner, entrepreneur, author. This is the show for you and the information that's going to come today. I hope you're excited because I'm excited. I'm excited about the gems that's going to be dropped. I'm excited about the keys that's going to help me unlock some doors in 2022. And you got to be excited as well, you guys. I am Coach Tamira Bell, and I am excited about this platform. I'm excited about the guests that are going to be coming on in 2022, and I'm excited about the guests that we have today. All right. So, you guys, if you haven't pressed that share button, go ahead and share the video, tag your four, and DM five business partners, five associates that you know that need this information. So I'm not going to prolong the time any longer. No, I'm not going to do that, you guys. I'm going to go ahead and bring on our guests. So I want to introduce to some and introduce to others. LABARRON Edwards. You guys give it up for him now. Come on, come on, come on, come on in. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Welcome, LABARRON. I am so excited to have you as our guest here on Boss Rise Up. I'm excited about the information that you're going to provide. So if you could just tell the people at this time a little bit about yourself.
I'd be more than happy to. Well, first of all, I'm LABARRON Edwards, originally from New York City. For all the New Yorkers out there, rise up. so,
Awesome.
so I've been an entrepreneur for 21 years. I have multiple businesses that I run along with my family. We are a family business. And by the way, I'm married for 27 years. Wow, man, 27 years. Woo! I
Congratulations.
have, thank you. I have four amazing children who are all entrepreneurs themselves. And like I said, we run a family business. I live in Atlanta, which I love Atlanta. It's a place that I decided to make home about 17 years ago. And I'm just excited to be here. I'm excited to be a part of this new movement. 2022 is here, baby. Let's get it.
Awesome. Oh man, I love the fact that you said you've been in business for 21 years.
Yes,
That's
indeed.
amazing. I tell people all the time I have an entrepreneurship background. My dad owned 7 businesses growing up, so it's kind of like in my blood. But to hear somebody say 21 years as an entrepreneur, and the fact that your family is involved. What do you mean when you say that your family is involved? And also, what's the name of your business? And tell us a little bit about your business as well.
Sure. Well, I actually there's two main entities of my business. So my family business is called MBGW Global Holdings. And under MBGW, we do a bunch of different things. So my son is a videographer, photographer. So that's under that umbrella. My daughters do social media marketing. So that's under that umbrella. My wife and we are both financial literacy coaches. So that's under that umbrella. And then I also do public speaking, so that's under that umbrella, and that actually falls under my moniker of Khalil Speaks LKE. So that's when you see my name, you'll see LABARRON Edwards, and then you'll see Khalil Speaks LKE. So in addition to that, we also do real estate investing. We do a bunch of different things, and insurance. That's another huge part of what we do. Capital assets, which we help small businesses gain access to funding. We do a bunch of stuff. We do a bunch of stuff.
I actually love the fact that you guys do a bunch of things because multiple streams of income is really the key to financial freedom. And I love how, you're in the insurance industry. So am I. My husband and I, we actually just opened a funeral home last year, 2021.
Is that
And
right?
so we understand the different ventures that you're supposed to have and things like that. So what would you tell that person that's like, no, I'm fine with just that one entity, that one business? What are some things that you would tell that person that actually needs to know the importance of multiple streams of income?
Well, I'm glad you said that because your business could be going phenomenal. It could be great. But then you have to understand there's cycles when it comes to business. So if you happen to hit a down cycle and your business takes a dive, then now you have to suffer and struggle. And hopefully you made enough money to maintain, but it's not about maintaining. It's about continuous growth. So when that business cycles down, you should have something that cycles up so you can continue that growth phase, that growth trajectory. And that's the point of it. So when you spread your ability to make money in multiple arenas, it gives you the ability to always be growing versus ups and downs and highs and lows and riding that roller coaster, which nobody wants to ride in business. So that's my advice to that.
I'm glad you gave that advice because I think a lot of people that kind of go the single entity route, they don't realize that your business can be up this month and then next month it can be down. But also, I just believe that we have multiple gifts and we are to utilize those gifts so that we can be successful. And so, what would you tell that entrepreneur, or I'm going to say that new entrepreneur? How can your business, one of your entities, help them in their business to get to a level or minimize the mistakes within their business? You know, mistakes like me and you may have
Mm,
made in the beginning.
right.
Minimize their mistakes. What are some resources that you provide that could actually help them?
Well, another thing that I've done for years and years and years, just like yourself, I'm a business coach. I help you develop your business. Even if you have a business, I can analyze what you're doing and see if I can tweak some of the processes of your business to make them more efficient. So that's one of the things that I do under the MBGW uh, umbrella, so to speak. In addition to that, I'm also a small business and large business employee benefits professional through my insurance. We also do investments, so we do retirement planning for your business. We do the whole insurance gamut from life, health, disability, the whole shebang. So, and then I'm also, like I said, my wife and I, we're financial literacy specialists. So we educate you as well as your employees on how to understand the game of money, how to play it properly so you can maximize your wealth building strategies long term and short term. And for the businesses that are struggling to find funding, like I said before, I give them access to funding outside of the traditional banks and credit unions where there's so much regulation that have been placed upon them, but they're like, look, I'm not trying to give money to nobody. You already got to be a multi-billion dollar corporation before we give you any money. So those companies that are up and coming, you come to people like myself and we give you access to that funding and help you scale up and help you grow. So those are the services that I personally, well, my firm can personally provide to help your business grow.
Wow. Did y'all hear that? Y'all need to go to Mr. LeBaron, right? Edwards. Why? Because so many of you that are entrepreneurs, you're looking for that funding. And funding is very important when it comes to business, especially when you want to prosper in business the way you want to. Because trust and believe, some of us didn't start off with funding. And so when you're not
Hmm.
starting off with funding, you can't see your vision or your business the way you really desire to. And you're going to have your down moments. So when you're able to connect to someone that says, hey, reach out to me. Now, I believe as a business coach, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, that investing in your business is important. Because if you invest in
So
your business, you will get that return. So, talk to us about the importance of investing in your business. For that person that's saying, I don't have the money right now, or I have it, but I don't want to make that decision on that. How important is that, LeBaron?
if you don't invest in your business, you're speaking death over your business. That is the best way I can put it. You're speaking death over your business.
That is
Any
good.
money,
Did y'all hear
I,
that? Oh man, I'm sorry for
look,
cutting
I
you
try
off.
to keep it 100.
Woo! That is death over your business. You do not want to have a funeral for your business. Oh, go ahead.
Come
I'm
on,
sorry.
man.
I just had. Wow.
I've seen it too many times. Like I said, I've been in business for 21 years. So I've seen people who have said, you know what, I'm trying to find the cheapest way to get some things done. And that's great. You can find the most economical, but sometimes you just have to be willing to drop some thousands so you can grow. Period. And even though you had that vacation planned, even though you had, I wanted to buy this new car, sometimes you're going to have to put those wants to the side and redivert those funds so you can grow exponentially and you can hit those, those revenue marks of 5, 10, 20 million dollars. And then once you hit those revenue marks, then you can go wherever you want to go. You can buy whatever car you want to buy. Right now, your main objective is, I need to make sure my business is growing the way that I need it to grow, so I can create the enterprise that I see it in my mind's eye, and then I can create the income from that business, and then I can live the life that I believe I'm worthy of.
I'm actually glad she said that, because I really believe that if you're not willing to invest in your business, you have to ask yourself, do you really believe in your business? Do you really believe that it can
Powerful.
bring in revenue or the profit? Because I have clients that I have, potential clients that have sat down and did a consultation. And the first thing I say is, what's your plan? Because one of the things that my dad always told me, if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. Well,
Come
that's
on,
the
man.
same thing in business. It's the same thing. So if you don't have a plan, many people start a business. The first, I'm like, do you even have a business plan? And
Come
most
on.
people, if I line 10 entrepreneurs, new business people up, one of them might have a business plan. They might have a
Mhm.
business plan. And I have to break down, you need to do that because you're winging it. That's my phrase. You're winging it. And if you're winging
Absolutely.
it in business, 3 years from now, we're gonna be like, where you at? You're gonna be back working for somebody, right? So what, LeBarry, tell them how important a business plan is. Let them know, like, what is your
Mhm.
view on the whole business plan concept?
Man, a business plan. First of all, you have to understand a couple of different things about a business plan. You have to be able to see it in order to seize it. So, and that's not my phrase. That's not mine. That's somebody else's. But you have to see it before you can seize it. Without a plan of action, without knowing exactly how it's going to be structured, how the growth strategy, the money, how the heck are you planning on running a business? Now, yes, you may be a skilled practitioner. You may be able to cook amazing. You may be able to build amazing, but that's not a business. That's being a practitioner. You have to understand the structure, the system, the money, how it's going to be. Even if you want to put employees into the equation, everything needs to be factored in. And you can't do that unless you have a written game plan in order to make that happen.
Man, game plan. I played sports, right, in college. So when you say game plan, it takes me to those days, because I always tell people it's the same thing. Just like when a person plays sports, you can actually compare that to business. You got to have a
There you
plan, you
go.
guys. If you do not have a plan, that's why your business is not leveling up. That's why your business is not excelling. And you all are not just hearing it from me, you're also hearing it from LaBarron. Hey, if you needed the confirmation, there's the confirmation right there, okay? That you don't just throw yourself in business because you have a gift. You have to prepare for that. You have
Thank
to
you.
make up in your mind and say to yourself, I'm going to plan for business, right? So, LeBaron, what would you tell that person who who is struggling with the plan? What are some advice you'll give them on
Mhm.
orchestrating a business plan?
Well, it's a couple of things that I would give. Number one, you don't have to do it by yourself. There's so many people that can assist you. I help people establish business plans. I'm sure you help people establish business plans. There's the SBA. They can help you design a plan. You don't have to go it alone. Yes, Google gives us a lot of information. That's great. But sometimes people just cannot go on Google and become a astrophysicist. You know what I'm saying? You need someone to help you, help you along the way and give you step-by-step guidance into how to make it happen. So I mean, honestly, that's what you need to do. If it's a struggle, seek help. You don't have to do it by yourself. Reach out. I promise you, there are millions of entrepreneurs who have done it before, who will happily say, I know what you're feeling. Let me help you out with this. Let me get you through that. Go for it.
Now, LeBaron, I do have a question for you. When it came to COVID, when it came to the pandemic, how did that affect your business, or how did that transform your mind for your
Mm.
business or the success of your business?
Actually, COVID for me was and I don't want this to sound crazy. COVID for me was a blessing. Now, let me break that down. Remember, I'm in insurance. I deal with people's money. How many people were struggling financially during the pandemic? So many people were struggling, they were losing their jobs left and right. They were like, "Oh my goodness, what am I going to do? I have this 401k. Do I pull it out and live off this money, or do I what can I do? I need advice." I'm licensed to help you with that. So it really exploded my business and allowed me to now go into other areas of other businesses. During the pandemic is when I actually started real estate investing. So yeah, and most people are like, huh? The market was crazy. Yeah, but it was a great entrance for our firm to really get into the real estate investing market. And now the real estate investing is starting to blow up again. So we already have the knowledge and the experience, so we don't have to learn that again. We already know it, so now we can just keep flowing. So, like I said, I didn't want that to sound crazy, like, because I lost a lot of family and friends. We lost like 11 family members in 2020 to COVID, and some, to cancer. So it was a crazy, crazy time. But in terms of business, it was by far one of the greatest things that happened to my family's business ever.
Um, I definitely understand when you say it was a blessing. I think for a lot of people, they gave birth during the pandemic, whether it was to an actual child or to a business. I think the pandemic allowed people to see where they could be in life, and it also made you realize that life is short and you don't know. So you might as
Yes,
well give it
indeed.
everything that you have. And I think that's why a lot of people begin to birth businesses. But the thing that I realized and I learned as a coach was there were a lot of people going in business, but they did not have the experience of entrepreneurship. They didn't have the
Right.
experience of business. And it kind of, they'll start, but they'll go into a depression, or they're almost, I feel like I've been in the presence of a lot of people that were, they felt like they regretted it. And I would
Mm,
tell them, no, it's because you didn't invest in information. You didn't expand your knowledge and understanding. Just because you're gifted in a thing does not necessarily mean that you know how to run it and orchestrate it as a business. And so I
correct.
believe that, business ownership right now is still at the same percentage, but self-employment has
Mm.
exploded. And
Oh
it's a
man.
lot of self-employed individuals that believe that they're business owners, and I have to tell them, no, 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 no. You're not a business owner until you can stroke the check.
Not
Until
quite
you can
yet.
write
Come on,
checks,
man.
you're not a business owner. Okay, you got to have a team. You got to have employees to be a business owner. Other than that, you're self-employed. You own a job. You just over broke, right? And so we have to get to a point
Mm,
in our lives as coaches to be able to be firm with individuals. So, as a business coach, how is that for you to just be
mm-mm,
honest with people up front and say, you don't have what it takes, or you
mm,
have what it takes? How do you approach that
mm,
when telling them or trying to pull out
mm,
that greatness in them to be that successful
mm.
entrepreneur?
Well, remember, I'm a New Yorker, so we're a little different.
You are. Oh man, y'all can be closer north end, but y'all can.
So, but I'm very tactful. So don't I'm not just super blunt like a lot of my family members and people I grew up with, especially in business, because you don't want to hurt people's feelings and just drive them down a path of just depression and just the sunken place. So I make sure when I tell someone, I first of all try to find something I can compliment them on first. Like, man, I'm so glad that you decided that you wanted to become an entrepreneur. A lot of people they're not willing to take that step and they're not willing to do that. So that was a great thing. Now, based on your business, we need to talk about some things. We need to discuss a couple of things, namely your concept, your strategy, all these different aspects. We're going to analyze these, and then I will break down exactly what I found. And then if it's something that if I can give them some pieces of advice and some corrective guidance, and they're unwilling to accept that corrective guidance, then it's like I have to pull out that New Yorker and say, look, if you're not willing to change, then you might as well pack it up. Because, and I use this often, because you're speaking death over your business because you're not willing to make the adjustments to make that business run like a business. And if that's upsetting to you, I can't help the truth. The truth hurts sometimes, but it's the truth nonetheless. So you need to make sure that you're doing the things necessary so you can create the success that you desire. If you're not willing to do that, then you might as well go back to work. And that's pretty much how I say it.
Wow. You know what? Um, Honesty is really important in business. Honesty. We can't really sugarcoat it. But I do think that a lot of people get in entrepreneurship with this mentality. I'm gonna make my first million. Boom, there it is. I'm gonna make six figures. Boom, there it is. And I always tell people business is a system. You got to follow the process. It's concept to business. If you're not willing to do that, trust and believe. There are some people that boom, they got it. It just exploded for them. But that's not the majority. It's levels to this thing. And so, you've been in business 21 years, LABARRON. So, what are
Mm,
some hurdles that you had to overcome, and how exactly did you overcome it?
mm. Well, the biggest hurdle that I had to overcome was the belief that I could actually do it. There's a mindset gap when it comes to people who go into business. A lot of times you don't even believe you can be successful. You're just going into it just to see. A lot of people's mindsets are not designed for entrepreneurship, for owning. We're designed for being in somebody else's game. We're designed for servitude versus mastership. And that's the unfortunate reality. So you have to overcome the ideology of serving in somebody else's entity and becoming the master of that entity, owning, creating systems, designing things. That was the biggest hurdle I had to overcome, because from birth, as you know, we're taught, go to school, get a good education, get you a good job, make good benefits, work for 40 years, retire with half your income, die in poverty. Now, mind you, we don't get told the last few things. We get told just the first: go to school, get a good education, get you a good job, good benefits. But we're rarely ever told the rest of the story. So after that conditioning, it's hard to overcome that conditioning. And then when you have people around you in your circle that you respect and trust who don't believe you, they don't believe in you, they don't believe you can do it. They say, nah, you should just keep that good job. Keep doing what you're doing. You got a good you I used to be in the medical field, and people like, you got a good medical job. You work in a hospital. Why are you doing that? Because I'm not built. I was not designed to be serving in somebody else's business for the rest of my life. I've always believed that. I always knew from a child that I wanted to be the owner. I wanted to own businesses. I wanted to be wealthy, but I also wanted to impact others through helping them either become business owners or help giving them a way to provide for themselves and their families, because I'm a firm believer that everyone is not going to be an entrepreneur. We still need people to work, but those that want to rise above that, I'm more than willing to help them. So in terms of my own issues, those are my issues. So I overcame them through, number one, associating with people who were business people, who were successful business people. Because when you associate with people like that, your mindset begins to shift. They start to infuse different thoughts into your brain, and you start to believe that it's possible. Then when you read books like Think and Grow Rich, Cash Flow Quadrant, you read these books and they expand your mind and they make you believe even further that, man, I can do this. And then when you start getting those minor successes and you say, oh man, I'm really doing this. And see, it starts to go from your mind belief into actual practical belief. And then all of a sudden you keep going. And yeah, you may have setbacks, but you keep going because you've started to see the success that it creates. And the next thing you know, with diligence and with patience, the sky is the limit. So that's what I utilize. Being around the right people, it really makes a tremendous difference in your success mindset. Reading those books and seeing that the words on those pages are being personified in that human being that you're associating with. And then you're seeing their lifestyle. You're seeing how they're commanding respect. You see how they're influential in their communities. You see how influential they are amongst the people in the same industry, and it becomes amazing when you can see it live and direct, and it really infuses into your heart and your mind and your spirit that you can become one of those people. So that's how I overcame those shortcomings.
I love how you say getting around successful business people, business professionals, because I know you know this, and you probably know it. If you're basically around five people that are broke, you're going to
Come
be
on.
six. If you're around five millionaires, you're going to be the six. You become
Absolutely.
who you're connected to. So it's important. I remember I'm a part of Primerica, okay? So I remember going to Atlanta. I want to say it was 2019, going to Atlanta, being a top writer, going on to a rooftop party with all of these six-figure earners, millionaires, and realizing it was more to life. Did not know that. Did not know that because even though I have a dad that owns several businesses, very successful. I wasn't around the people who he was around. So I
Right.
don't know what gave him that drive to keep going or what, but to be in that room, I realized something. I realized that it's more to life than what I thought. My mind began to expand when I got around certain people. When I got around certain people, I began to see things. Now I turn around and get like 2 massages a month, and I said I'm gonna get to 4. But I never thought about that. I'm just gonna be real.
Mm.
Never thought about it until I got in the right room. They're like, massages allow you to live longer, right? And I'm like, what?
Hmm.
Oh, I need to start that now. And so I implemented that in my schedule, and I was like, let's go, right? And I remember, for my birthday last year, my sister then was like, what do you want? I said, we're gonna do a spa day, y'all. I'm gonna show y'all the life that has been exposed to me so that you guys could want more. And their mindset was, you're the only one that sits here. This is all we're doing for your birthday. And I said, you're gonna be
Right.
glad. You're gonna be glad. And when they got done, they were like, oh, I gotta do this often. When you get around
Right.
people, you see the
Exactly.
world from a different perspective.
Come
You're like,
on, man.
I've been thinking small. I didn't even know I was thinking small. That part, I didn't even know I was thinking small. Have you ever been there, LeBaron, where you did not know you were thinking small? You were thinking that I'm thinking big, and the people around you thought you were thinking
Mm.
big too, until you got around
Yes.
other people. What was your
Exactly.
experience with that? Like, how did that make you feel? Like, what did that do for you and your business?
Mm. Well, the biggest thing that it did for me, well, first of all, there were a couple of instances where I thought my vision was here, and then I get around somebody and they like, bruh, that's it. That's all you want. And so I remember I was in a meeting with someone, and he said, you know what? I I don't want to just build a house. I want to build a subdivision for my family. And that subdivision, it's just going to be us. And he's like, it's going to be me and my family. We all going to have the houses. It's going to be our subdivision. And we're going to have a church in the middle of it. So it's our church with our pastor, that for our family. And I was like, huh, I never thought about building a subdivision just for myself and my family. That's freaking awesome.
Right. It is.
So
Wow.
that was like mind expanded. Ever since that moment, it was like, you know what? I would love to do that. And then I had this ideology of not only would I like to build a subdivision, I would like to build a house that has multiple houses in it so all of my family members can live in that house. And then I saw, I think a guy in Dallas did the exact same thing. And I was like, oh my God, I'm not the only one that had that idea.
Right. You know what? You're listen. Literally my husband. This is my husband all day. It's right up his alley. We're gonna build this huge house. All of us gonna live in it together. Your sister them gonna bring their family. They gonna be on different. I was like, are you sure?
That's
Like, we're gonna be in this. He said it's gonna be like we ain't in the same house. And I'm like,
thank you.
so wow. Cause when he brings that up, I'm like, you really want to do that? Like, you really want to do that. And so I definitely understand it's possible. And believe it or not, it makes the bond closer and it makes
Thank you.
life experiences better. Cause you know,
Thank you.
we're family people. So, you know, we're the house that everybody love to come to. We have different, you know, engagements and things at the house because we love to cherish family. Because even though you're making money, it's good to buy toys and all of that, but the best experience is definitely family.
Come
Loving
on,
on
man.
each other and just
Absolutely.
embracing the moments and watching each
Absolutely.
other grow. That's worth living for. And so,
Yes, indeed.
what would you tell someone? Because you're married and you're in business. Is she in entrepreneurship as well?
Yes.
Okay,
She has been right alongside me for the last 20 something years.
that is amazing because I always tell people my husband and I, we are both in entrepreneurship. We've been in entrepreneurship since we've known each other. So it's not one person in employment and one person. No, we both are entrepreneurs. So because you've experienced that, what is some advice you would give entrepreneurs that are in that same predicament?
Well, there's a couple of pieces of advice I would give. Number one, always, well, let me back up. As an entrepreneur couple, there are gonna be tough times. You cannot be, and this is for both of you, you cannot be the negative person in your spouse's ear when you're building and you're growing, because your mindset has to be on positivity, on growth. Yes, crap could be happening all around you, but don't forget that you are each other's rock. You are each other's foundation. Do not break that foundation by infusing negativity into that equation. So that's the first piece. Don't be the negative Nancy in your household. Number two, especially when you have children, understand your life needs to be on a schedule. Your life, not just your business, the time that you spend with the kids, the time for their homework, everything. The time you wake up, you should get up every day at the same time. If you do your prayers, meditations, those should be scheduled. Your whole life should be on a schedule. And that way you can manage everything. Like, I have four children. My oldest is late 20s. So we've been building a business since my oldest was a child, like a 6-year old child. Like, so we have four. So we've had children during our business life. So we had to manage time with the children, time with family, mom and dad, time with ourselves, husband and wife time. So your life needs to be on a schedule. Another thing is that you need to understand that the money that comes in, you may not necessarily be able to use that to pay all of the bills all the time, because sometimes business stuff it trumps that. So you may need to make some arrangements with that so you can build that business so you don't ever have to make an arrangement again. So I mean, there's a bunch of different pieces of the puzzle, making sure that you always develop your mindset, develop into a higher thinking individual. Always remember that, never become complacent And I know some people say I'm satisfied with where I am. I'm never satisfied. Now, I'm not saying I don't appreciate what God has given me. I'm saying I appreciate it, but I'm going to keep appreciating it as I get more of it. So so develop your mindset, develop your relationship, and man, you'll have a phenomenal business life, a phenomenal marriage, a phenomenal family life, and you'll see the development, especially when it comes to your children. You'll see that development being infused in your children and how they think and how they move. And all of a sudden now you're 40 something like myself, and you say, man, this thing has been amazing. And now I'm seeing my children rise to another level and take our business and their own just endeavors into a whole nother realm. And it becomes powerful at that point to just sit back and watch it happen. So that's the pieces of advice I would give for that.
Wow, that was good. That was good. The whole schedule thing, I totally agree. That probably has been the hardest thing for me since I started having kids in 2018. Um, and so that's probably my hardest thing because it's like I would get so uh I was zoomed into my work, and I'm like, oh, did I even spend time with my child today?
Mm,
And so that, man, y'all better get that because the scheduling part, if you don't have a schedule, it can become dysfunctional. It can
yes,
become
indeed.
dysfunctional. Days will pass and you'll find yourself not spending time with your family. Because like I said, my husband is in the funeral industry. So if a funeral, the weekends are out, we don't even, we might as well just give the weekends and call it weekdays, okay? Because we have to schedule things on the weekdays, really, because if it's a funeral, the weekend is it. And so you have to find that day that's good for you. And always utilize there is no excuse. You guys, I just
Thank you.
I had my second son August of 2021. And so I be multitasking because one of the things that I've learned is I can utilize an excuse to stop me, right? And I've done that in the past. I can admit that in the past I've done that where excuses stop my growth because
Mm,
I got content and I got comfortable where I
mm.
was, and because of that, my money stopped. My money got stuck, or it stayed in a
Ooh.
place. And I'm like, oh, it's not going up anymore. Because when you get a content, you're no longer going into every week saying, I'm going to make this amount of money. That's why
Right.
I've learned I was winging it. I was literally going into some months because I was comfortable, not knowing how many new clients I was going to have by the end of the month, not knowing how much money I was going to make by the end of the month. And I had to deal with myself. Have you ever been there, LaBarron, where you just
Mm.
literally stopped playing the game? You literally got to a point where you were okay sitting on the bench. You were okay with where your money
Mm.
was, almost because you it's almost like you lost focus. And when you got there, what pulled you out, or what would you advise somebody that's at that same place right now?
I'm gonna tell you right now, in my business life, there's only been like a 2 month period where I lost focus. 2 months. And the money was flowing. I was hanging. I didn't have to do hardly anything. But then I realized sometimes and let me put it this way. Sometimes people think that you don't know how to do stuff when you the one that taught them how to do it. So I'm very competitive in that respect. If you say, "Oh, I can do this better than you," and I taught you how to do it, then I say, "Okay, let's see what you really got." So in that scenario, I had to show some people that I'm the big dog for a reason. Yeah, you nice, but I taught you to be nice. And there's some things that I've done, and I know because I'm not new to this like you are, that I have in my back pocket that you would never know without experience. So after that 2 month time frame, I had to show folks that I wasn't just lounging, hanging out. So I got back in the game. So, but those 2 months was cool. I did a lot of things. I went out to eat a lot, chill. But after that, I remembered, yeah, I got challenged, but I also remembered I didn't come here just for this. I didn't do this just to be here.
Right.
I want to be I want to be on the Forbes list with Bill Gates and freaking Bezos. Like, yo, we number 2 and number 3. That's me, baby. You know. So, you know, with the Wakanda Forever on my Forbes picture, like, yeah, we out here too. You know. so so that's what I want to do. And it's about my legacy as well. I have children. I want them when I'm gone. I want them to say, you know what? Not only was my dad a great dad, he was a great businessman. He was a great leader. He was a great mentor. He was a great speaker. He left an amazing legacy for us. And that's what drives me every single moment of my life. That's what I want. I want to be remembered. I don't want to just be a blip on history's radar. I want to be a powerhouse that people remember me internationally. That's why I get up and do what I do. And I don't just do it for me, not because I'm just a recognition whore, pardon my wordage, but I want to have my children's 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 children know the story of me, so they can have pride. They can be like, that's my great 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 grandfather. He did the damn thing, and he is now the reason why we have this life, and we have this, and we are at this level, and we have this amount of influence, this amount of just everything. It has to start somewhere. So I figured, if I'm the entrepreneur, my father's not an entrepreneur, my brother's not an entrepreneur, my sister, she's an entrepreneur, but I'm the youngest, and I want to explode my legacy where everyone recognizes, yo, that guy LABARRON, he really did the damn thing. Respect. And that's why I get up every day.
Yes, I agree that it's definitely about building a legacy. It's about building something that can go from generation to generation. I always tell people, when you're planting in the earth, plant something that will remain in the earth after you. That's the whole purpose, you know. You don't want to start a mom and pop shop. It's gone after they gone. Okay. You want something that's gonna
Exactly.
continue on and on and on and on. So I love the fact that that's what that's how you view it, and that's what you see. So, LeBaron, at this time, I want you to tell them again, how can they contact you? Tell them about your business,
Mm-hmm.
what resources you have. If you have any sales at this time going on, how can they get it, and what are the sales?
Mm-mm. Okay. So first and foremost, again, my firm is MBGW Global Holdings. So, and under MBGW Global Holdings, we have our real estate investment firm. So if you're somebody that would like to, sell a property under the real estate investment mojo, we can help you with that. Everything under the sun when it pertains to insurance and financial services, we do all of that, from investing, retirement, life, health, disability, cancer, all that stuff. We do all of that stuff. So you can call me directly, 678-826-7504. That is the business line. And you can email me, info@mbgwglobalholdings.com. That's our email address. We're based in Atlanta. So if you happen to be in Atlanta and you want to have a one-on-one consultation, we can sit down and do that. I can jump on Zoom. I'm also a tech nerd, and I'm highly technologically savvy. So we can jump on any video conferencing platform, and we can do that. And in terms of sales, I mean, it's really, here's what I do for my business coaching and business development. I typically I typically charge about $250 a session for that. However, I can take $100 off if anybody wants that. I mean, obviously, uh, there are a lot of different people who are business professionals that can train you and coach you. I'm just one of those people that's willing to assist you. In terms of public speaking, I actually have a public speaking course that I teach, and that is $1,000 that I charge for that course, and it's 7 sessions where I take you from being having no confidence at all to being able to talk to 5, 10, 15,000 people in the room with confidence and with pizzazz and with flair and being able to capture the audience. That's usually $1,000. I can drop that down to 700. So I mean, in terms of anything else, everything is really, it's really based upon the firms that I represent. So I really cannot break that down a little bit. Like, obviously, my children who have the photography, videography, they have the social media marketing, all that stuff. They have set price for certain things, but then it's customizable. So they would have to give you those. In terms of financial literacy, typically I do those, like when I do a group session, I do those for free. I do financial literacy sessions for free, because I truly believe that people need to have financial education. So I do those pro bono. I do those at schools. I do those at churches, at mosques, synagogues. I do them at libraries. I do them wherever for nonprofit organizations, sororities, fraternities. I go in and I do an hour and a half session, and I just give knowledge about finance and how to play the game of money. And I infuse certain things like crypto and how that works and all these different aspects. So if you want to have a session with me, about whatever thing that I offer, by all means, again, 678-826-7504, or email me, info@mbgwglobalholdings.com. Myself, my family, my team, we're readily available to assist you. We would love to help you with any challenges that you may have in your business. In terms of the, like I said, business development, I'm very analytical, so I can analyze your processes and see where you might be missing an element, where you need to adjust here or there. So I mean, that's that analytical brain of mine. So these are the ways that you can reach me. These are some of the things that I offer. By all means, if you want to have a conversation, if you just want to talk about something that you might be planning, let's have a chat. I'd be more than happy to listen and give you some advice and see if you and I working together would be a good fit.
Awesome. Thank you so much, LeBaron. Listen, we're actually doing a Georgia Business Forum this year. I believe it's in the month of September. Month of September.
Okay.
I would love to get you information on that because we're in Georgia
Hey,
as well. Um, and definitely, I would love to have you doing that because finance is very important. Whether you're in business or whether you're not in business, it's very important to have that knowledge and understanding. And I think that some people need to take that investment in 2022 and say, I'm going to get my finances together, whether it's building your credit, opening up Roth RAs, opening up retirement accounts, because the truth is we get older, we don't get younger. I
come on.
know, people are getting the surgeries and all of that, but guess what, we still get older, so you definitely
Exactly.
want to prepare for those things. And I definitely believe, just from listening to LeBaron is the guy that you've been looking for. So you guys plug in and get it done. And I thank you again, LeBaron, for joining us on
It's my
Boss
pleasure.
Rise Up
It's my
Talk Show.
pleasure.
Before I end, is there anything else you would like to leave with the people today?
Just some words of advice for anyone listening. You're going to face challenges in life. You're going to. We're suffering through a global pandemic. We have this new Omicron variant that is now taking over and making the numbers rise again. You're gonna have challenges. They're gonna be there. I would just say, look, get yourself to a point where you rise above the issues that you're facing. And that way, the challenges that hit you will never take you off your course. They will never take you down because you have risen above your challenges, risen above the issues, risen above them because your mindset is to a certain level where nothing can phase you. And I believe you do that by increasing your spirituality, increasing your knowledge, increasing everything about you, increasing your health, just everything. And that's the greatest piece of advice I can give you. Don't let anything, anything stop you from accomplishing your goals and your dreams. And don't let the negative people around you prevent you from even stepping forth and going for it. So that's the biggest piece of advice. I'm a walking, talking example of that. I didn't have a silver spoon. I didn't come up with the greatest of upbringings. I love my mother. She did her best, but I had to rise up to a level myself. And thankfully, with the help of a higher power, as well as a loving wife, loving family, I was able to make some things happen. And even though I'm early 40s, I'm still in the game hard, and we still gonna make this legacy even greater in the very near future. That's what I got for you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, LeBaron Eric Edwards. Give it up again for LeBaron Edwards, everybody. Give it up for him. Awesome, awesome, awesome. You guys, I am so excited. Y'all, he got me pumped up. He got me ready to go to work, okay? He got me ready to connect to some more people, you guys. And I hope you took down his information. If you are looking for that financial literacy, if you're saying to yourself, you want to expand financially, you want to expand your business, and you're looking for someone to talk to, LeBaron Edwards is the guy for you, you guys. So I definitely want you to plug in, take down his information. You guys, this is the Boss Rise Up with yours truly, Coach Tamira Bell. I look forward to seeing you guys again soon. And make sure if you have not shared the video, share the video, tag for and DM5. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as like us on Facebook. You guys, I thank God for each and every one of you. I love each and every one of you. And go out there and win in business. All right.